Hey guys, video, much shorter one. It's not going to be like a super long one, but I guess I should probably explain why I'm not really in abolitionism, and specifically one point. Again, I could explain in a much different video, but obviously I don't give any exceptions to abortion. I think abortion is murder. I think women who get abortion should be executed, or they should spend the rest of their lives in jail. But I think there's three problems why I'm not an abolitionist. I'm going to explain them briefly. I'm going to save them for different videos, but explain them very briefly. One, the least important aspect, is the theological disputes. Some of them are Calvinist, others are not. I just think theologically it's don't be a Protestant. That's a story for another day. Then there's the this is probably the biggest problem, that they only allow people who are Protestants to join them. And because they're obviously doing it for the glory of God. And the glory of God is by stopping abortion, yes, but it's mainly for the glory of God, right? Now, for me, even if I wasn't Christian, I would still be
I'm never down for long.
Against abortion, because I was against abortion before I even thought I was an anti-theist, and I was still against abortion. As a matter of fact, the reason why I didn't even really believe in God, or one of the reasons why, is, well, if God was good, why would God allow abortions, right? It was more of it was more of, why would you worship him? It's not like that's the point.
Flash out.
And then that's the problem. Like, I think strength in numbers is better. The more people you have, that's how you win. That's how you win elections. That's how you win. The more people you have. I think you can have our theological squabbles after. But you know, I agree with abolitionists. They fight a lot, but they I think it's really deterring away from the conversation. We're here to save babies. And I know we have different ways of how to do that, but I think this is really irritating to have conversations with them all the time, right? Then, that's the reason, right? So, the glory of God, again, they're Christians, but I don't think that this is necessary. And mind you, they don't use any secular arguments. Now, which is not really a problem. I made a video explaining that since this is a philosophical conversation, and religion is a philosophical conversation, yeah, you can do religion. The problem is, when you use biblical arguments, it's much harder. Much harder. That's why I don't do it. I don't know too much about Christianity. It's much harder, right? Now, if you're talking to somebody who used a biblical argument and you're trying to respond to them, absolutely. There's no question. I don't know, it's not there. There's no question. You should use religion. Like, for example, obviously, life beginning at first breath, what I was talking about in that video, like. Yeah, use religion in that case, because they're making a religious point. So you have to address it, right? So, but outside of that, like, it's not that you're not really going to convince people. It's just, I know some people would say that it's just a much more difficult task, right? Sure, you can argue, oh, where you get your morals from. Yeah, you can answer that question. That was like, oh, my morals come from God. That's a fair point, right? To ask, it's like, oh, where do your morals come from? Do they come from yourself? Do they come from society? Yeah, absolutely.
Hardpoint relocating. Stand by.
Especially if you're talking to me. If you're asking me where I come to get my morals from, then yeah, it's obviously from God, right? So I agree with that absolutely. So, but the video, the reason for this video is probably one of the biggest problems I've witnessed is the incrementalist versus the mediative strategy. And I used to be a mediatist. This absolute style where it's all or nothing. I used to.
Come on, I need.
Now I'm in between because I can see where points where it's effective and maybe where it wouldn't be effective. I'm completely in between. I'm agnostic. I'm not going to really affirm or negate either side. Right? Because it could really go both ways. You see, in pro-life states that are pro-life majority, yeah, they could get abortion banned if they wanted. There's not enough pro-choicers to get those laws restricted if they wanted to. But, right, the thing with that is when you're talking to these people, right, it's not really going to work in a lot of places, the abolitionist bills. In my view, it's not a pragmatic, it's more of a biblical reason, right? Now, I'm really in between. I really don't know, because I could make this for I am going to make this for but I really don't know, right? Because you could argue from the Bible incrementalism as well. And that's the whole point I was talking about, a sin of omission. Now, omission is leaving out, definition of omission is leaving out important information, right? But God does judge people partially for doing nothing when they had a chance. And somebody even told me, well, I even asked Scooter, okay, if you saw somebody get murdered and you do nothing to report it, that's not omission. That would be. And that's immoral. That is omission. Right? As a Christian, you are required to report evil. If you see evil and you do nothing about it, you are complacent. God judges you based on that. You're complacent in it. So even their view, when you're obviously complacent. Obviously complicit in this immoral action. And, like, I understand. You're sending some babies that die. I can kind of understand. The problem is, what do we do? Do we do nothing? Like, that's why I don't know what to do.
Hardpoint reloaded. Stand by.
I don't know whether to sell a bill or not, to sign a bill. A 6-week bill, not to be honest, yeah, the abortions are going to be decreased. I used to argue this as pragmatically which is a thing. to argue that. And it's true. But what are you gonna do? Are you gonna do nothing? Like, well, there's a lot of reductios on abolitionists. I'm not really gonna give any, but there's a lot on that viewpoint, right? So that's the incrementalism versus immediatism is very, very tough to solve, and I think that's the really biggest contention, right? And I also don't like that they argue with other pro-lifers. Now, I understand there's iron sharpens iron. Absolutely. But we're not the enemy. Especially if we don't give exceptions. Okay, if you're talking about pro-lifers who give the rape exception, I understand. But every other pro-lifer who doesn't give exceptions, right? We're not the enemy. We're on the same side. We need strength in numbers, and that's how we'll get this atrocity banned.